Before I get started, I do want to tell you a couple things. One is I don't know how many of the other speakers that have been up here in the last couple days have actually been a used car dealer. I was a used car dealer for 5 years in Southern California. I was an active member of the California Independent Auto Dealers Association. So I get it. I know the good, the bad, and the ugly of what you guys have to do every day. The good of owning your own business. The bad of having to work really, really hard. And the ugly of when you have a bad month. So I totally get it. And when I'm up here today, I will talk a little bit about what we can do to make your life a little bit easier, make it easier to sell more cars and make a little bit more money, and somewhere in there have just a little bit more fun. So I'm going to jump right into it. So you see the title, Cars in the Cloud. I'm not talking about cloudy with a chance of Buicks, okay? What I'm talking about is the digital acquisition and disposition of inventory, which is a super fancy way of saying buying and selling cars online, right? So I'm going to jump right into it. I'm not even going to go through the agenda because there's a couple points I really want to make. How do they save you money? And I know I've already lost some of you because when I just said the words buying a car online, I saw some of you completely shut down because that's something you just don't do. Well, hopefully in the next 20 minutes, 25 minutes, I'll be able to convince you that maybe you ought to at least start looking into how it works. So how does buying or selling cars online, how does that save you money? The number one thing is time. How long does it take you? How much time do you spend at the physical auction? Now don't get me wrong. I mean, I love a good auction breakfast as much as the next guy. But how much, I saw you there last week. How much time does it actually take to go to the sale? And again, I work for an auction company, so I'm not trying to run you off. I just want you to be more efficient. I want you to make more money. So how much time does it take? See, the problem with auctions is they don't generate a lot of revenue for municipalities because it's all wholesale. So they don't like us in town. They put us out, in fact, like Odessa, LA, it ain't anywhere near LA. It's in Miraloma. But if we called it Odessa Miraloma, nobody would know where it is. Odessa Golden Gate, you can't see Golden Gate from Odessa Golden Gate. It's in a different county. So you've got to spend some time driving to the sale. And then once you get to the sale, you got to catch up on all the social activities that go on. Hey, how's business? Oh, it stinks. Yeah, me too. I'm glad that guy's business stinks. I don't like him. You said, you know what I'm talking about. It's a social time. And you catch up on what's going on the market. Hey, how you doing with trucks? You know how it goes. But you should be out there looking at the cars and booking them out, but you end up spending some time with your fellow dealers. And that's a good thing. You got to catch up. You got to know what's going on. But how much time does it take to drive there, have the breakfast, do the social thing, look at the cars, stand in the lane, buy a couple cars, maybe one that you did want, one that you didn't want, whatever it is, get back in the car, drive by the golf course on the way back to the store and fight the steering wheel so you don't turn in and get back. Does it burn a day? Maybe. Half a day? At least. Travel expense. Just even if the auction's close, just gas going back and forth. I know a lot of guys that spend 2, sometimes 3 times a month, they get on an airplane to go buy cars. Now granted, they hit the auction up for paying for a hotel and some of that gets reimbursed, but there's expense to it, right? So it's real money. And then fees. Buying cars online is typically a lot less money. Whether you're buying or selling, the fees are lower. So time, expense, and fees saves you a lot of money. So how do they make you money? When I'm trying to buy and sell a car online, how does it actually make me money? Because we all love what we do, but man, if we don't have money, cash in the bank at the end of the month, it's not helping much, right? So how does it make you money? First of all, selection. Think about it. There's currently today, if you look online at all the online auctions, there's probably over 37,000 cars daily listed. I think last time I looked, it was 38,000 some change. So how's that selection differ from when you drive to the sale? So you go to a decent sized sale, you got 2,000 cars to choose from, right? There's 2,000 cars on the ground. Probably, I don't know, 100 of those cars are, something that might be kind of close to what you're looking for. And after you narrow it all down, you're probably looking at about 10 cars, and then you go fight in the lanes, and you end up with buying 1 or 2 cars. Is that close? Am I close? And I'm speaking in generality because there's a lot of guys that have bigger stores, and a lot of guys that have multiple stores, and some guys that, like me, had the mom and pop place. But I mean, I think I'm pretty close, right? I'm not exaggerating. Like I said, I've been there and I've done it. So I get it when I talk about having 37,000 cars. You're Doug, I'm not going to look at 37,000 cars. No, you're not. The good news is the technology is in there to narrow it down to, you know, the cars you need. Hopefully you have some kind of an inventory management system to help you with that, but you know the cars you need. You know the type of cars you sell. All you got to do is plug that into the system, and it shows you where those cars are, how much they are. Let's say out of that 37,000, there's only 10,000 that might work for you. And out of the 10,000 that you'd like to look at, there might only be, I don't know, 500 of them in a geographical radius that you'd be happy paying shipping for. And out of those 500, there only might be, I don't know, let's call it 100 that really would work for you. And out of that 100 that could really work for you, pricing-wise, you might only be able to buy 50. Wow, that's a lot better than the 2 we were just talking about, right? So, selection. Protection. NAAA rules give you a lot longer arbitration time, more days to arbitrate, and a lower arbitration dollar threshold. Everybody loves arbitration. Boy, I was on a panel at FIADA last year called the Joys of Auction Arbitration. I don't know how I got selected for that panel, but boy, there was no joy in that. So it gives you a lot longer time to look at the car, make sure it's the right car, make sure there's no damage, and it gives you a lower threshold of dollars. So you don't have to spend as much, it doesn't have to have as much damage before you can arbitrate. I mean, doesn't that make sense to start looking at that? And then turn. And what I mean by that is this. So you have a great Saturday. You ever have one of those Saturdays where, man, when you go to put the key in the door, it's dark, it's late, you know you can get every deal bought. A couple of folks paid cash for a couple cars that were getting kind of old on you. And you look out on the lot and you go, I love this business. What a great day. I made money. I had some fun. I met some good folks. Boy, I don't have very many cars left on the lot. And what's your first thought? All right, well, Tuesday I'm going to have to get up, or Monday I'm going to have to get up first thing in the morning. I'm going to have to go buy a couple cups of coffee, get the used car manager at the new car store's favorite coffee drink, and I got to have to be there at 7 o'clock before he gets there, and I got to, push away all the other guys that are trying to buy those fresh trades, or I got to get ready to go to the auction on Tuesday. All this stuff starts going through your head. How about instead of that, how about you go online and you look at those 50 cars that you can buy and replace the ones that you just sold? Again, you know what cars you sell, you know which ones sell faster and make you more money. You set the system up. Literally, once it's set up, you hit a button Saturday night before you leave, and you know exactly where those cars are and what you can buy them for. So turn. It's all about turn. So out of those 47,000 cars that are online, what are they? How'd they get there? So the majority of those cars, right now we've had a kind of a boom in new car leasing. Things were really dry there for a while. You know how hard it was to buy a car at the sale. Now there is some serious swelling of these lease portfolios. These cars that are coming back, the 24, the 36, the 48-month leases, they are piling up. These lenders, especially the factory guys, they're piling up. And it's not calming down, it's only ramping up. So there's more and more of those cars coming. And those are not, I know that's not for everybody. Not everybody sells a one-owner, low-mileage lease return. I would rather have a high-mileage, multi-owner, never mind. Those cars are grounded cars. Now, this doesn't mean anything to you guys, really. They're grounded, they're non-grounded, and they're open. That really doesn't mean anything, but I want to explain it to you because this is important. This is where you can make an advantage. So this is how banks think. This is how the lenders think when it comes to remarketing their vehicles, especially those lease returns, right? So they start off, if you're a dealer, if you're a new car franchise dealer, you have such an advantage because you can see those cars before they're even grounded, before the lease terminates. Those cars are visible to the new car franchise dealer. And so he knows what's coming. They can see it before it's ended. And then once that lease is over, it goes to the dealer. And he has a chance to buy it. He's got so many days to buy it. It depends on the lender, it depends on the franchise. A Honda dealer will have 4 days to buy it. A Toyota dealer might have 7, whatever it is. They all have different schedules. But that dealer gets to buy it. If that dealer doesn't want it, then it goes up for every dealer of that franchise in the country to be able to buy that car. And then if the grounding dealer didn't buy it and all the franchises in the country didn't buy it, then it goes here. Notice that big line at the bottom. That's for the new car franchise dealer. They can see that car all the way through. You can see it here. This is called first open. Now I know what you're thinking. You guys are looking at that line going, well, the dealer didn't want it that grounded the car. Every dealer in the country that franchise didn't want it. What the heck? It must be a piece of junk. Why do I want it? Well, here's the key to this. New car franchise dealers like you guys have really taken into inventory management. They don't pass on cars because they're junk. They pass on cars because they're not core vehicles to their business. They know that that particular car they already have too many of, or it's a vehicle that doesn't sell well in their inventory. So that's why it gets passed on. So this opportunity is so huge for you guys that sell these types of vehicles. And it's a huge opportunity because, again, those portfolios are swollen with cars. What happens when there's too many things to sell and not enough buyers? What happens? Price goes down. Absolutely it does. So there's some great opportunity there now. And the other thing too is when you buy those cars, if they match your inventory, if you're buying those cars, what's one of the greatest things about buying one of those cars as far as arbitration goes? Majority of those are factory warranty still. They're still within the factory warranty period. As a matter of fact, when you buy those cars, at least I know when you buy them from Odessa, for $30 you get a 30-day, we don't have an excuse warranty. So if you buy that car and you don't have to sell it in 30 days, all you got to do is pick up the phone and say, you know what, I didn't sell the car. I suck at it, so I didn't sell it. I want my money back, and you get 100% of your money back. Huge opportunity here. These are one owner, I'm going to say it one more time. One owner, low mileage, off lease, pretty much factory warranted cars. There's companies out there, there's guys out there, I love this part and I grind the new car dealers when I speak at NADA. I grind these guys because what happens is there's guys that have made a business out of buying these cars on the first open opportunity. Now remember, these cars have never been to auction. These cars are still sitting on the grounded dealer's lot. These guys go out and they buy those cars online. There's a couple of these guys that have made big business out of this. They buy, literally in a month, they'll buy thousands of these cars online, take them to a facility, they recon them, they make sure that they're CPO eligible for the dealers that want CPO cars, they make sure they got the tread depth, they make sure all the brake, everything's there, and then they take the auction to the auction and sell them. And guess who buys them? The dealer that passed on it when it went to the dealer. I love seeing it, and I grind the dealers. I go, what are you guys doing? But there's some guys, especially here in the South, that have made they make a lot of money, and it's a big business for them. So that's a huge opportunity for you guys. I don't want you, that's why I wanted to explain it to you. It's not because the grounded dealer thought it was a bad car and all the franchise dealers in that franchise in the United States thought it was a bad car. It's because they're very efficient and they know they didn't need that car. And again, the beauty of this is the car has never been to auction. You're getting this car before it goes to sale. You're getting better arbitration. You're paying lower fees. Great opportunity. And again, guys, all this stuff we're talking about, I know we don't have time to go into real detail for 25, 35 minutes. Get to the booth. I love talking about buying and selling cars. So I'll spend all the time I need to. So what other cars are in the cloud? We talked about the one-owner off-lease cars. Right now, how about rental cars and commercial fleet? Do you guys do any good with rental cars? A lot of you guys do some pretty good business with rental cars. That's the number one spot where they sell rental cars. That's risk units. So that's the ones that the actual rental car companies are selling, and there's program cars, the ones that the factory sold to the rental car companies but guaranteed to buy them back. So those are program cars. Company cars, all the manufacturers, all the executives that get a free car to drive, they sell those online. As well as dealer consignment cars. There are quite a few dealers that have really, new car franchise dealers and some independent dealers that have really figured this out. Why do I want to ship cars back and forth? There's so many reasons why you can actually sell a car online. We'll talk about that in a minute. But so dealer consignment cars are up there, which are the new fresh trades. Again, no having to run to the new car franchise store at 7 o'clock on Monday morning and beat up the other guys so they're not in line to buy those cars. And some of those cars are aged CPO units. These dealers have spent the money and or bought it from the guys that do it in lane. And you got a car that's ready to go. The other thing about this too is, we'll go back to this fresh trade thing. There's actually 3 ways to buy a car online. There's on your desktop, and you can do it live at the auction. So you're just watching the auction on your desktop and you're bidding like this. You can bid 24/7 on what I call eBay style, right? So it's like an eBay. It's like, here's the number right here. You can do a buy now or you can bid now. That's online on your desktop. You can do both of those from your phone. Both of those you can do from your phone. You can watch a live auction from your phone, hear the auctioneer, see the car, see all the details of the car, hit a button and buy a car from the phone. It amazed me when that first came out, the amount of cars that we sell that way. Amazing. But what's just come out, it's kind of a new thing, there's an app that you can download for free. New car franchise dealers use this app. Now you got to follow me here because I know nobody's going to believe me. As the car at the new car franchise dealer is being taken in, they're working a deal on a new car that has a trade. They walk out there with this app, they shoot video, 6 still shots, or I think it's 8 still shots and 2 videos. They fill out like a 3-page form as they're going around the car, and they hit launch. And then your phone goes beep, and you look at the phone. The car, they don't own the car yet. They're taking the car in trade. And you can bid live on that trade-in. Again, no more going to the store at 7 o'clock on Monday morning because you just won that car on the phone where they were taking it in trade. Again, same thing, arbitration rules, all that stuff applies. Funding, all that stuff applies. You can get it funded through AFC or whatever. So that's that trade rev. The trade rev. They're not here, but you come see me. We'll talk about it. What else? Oh, how do you know the good from the bad? Because that's the thing you can't do with a car online. Can you smell it? No. Can you touch it, feel it? You know when you sit in a car sometimes out in the back 40 of the auction, you saw it, you did your due diligence, you got the list, you booked it out, good Carfax. It's like, yep, this is the one for me. And you walk 100 miles to the back 40 and you find the car. It wasn't parked where it was supposed to be parked, and then you're sweating by the time you get there. But you finally find the car and you get, this is it. You open up the door and you sit in and you just go, man, this is not the car I thought it was. You know, the seat just, what are they doing in this car? It just doesn't feel right. The steering wheel is funny. So how can you feel that? How do you get that feeling online? You can't. That's why they have better arbitration and longer arbitration. That's why they have better guarantees. That's why you can get a 30-day, I don't care, I don't like it, it had that funny feel, I don't want it anymore. Money back. But before you do that, what you want to do is you want to look at how many times have you heard the word VDP in the last few days? Right, that vehicle detail page. You want everybody to go to your VDP, right? You want everybody to see your car up close, and that's the way you display that car online to the consumer. Well, auctions do the same thing. You go to the vehicle detail page, and on that vehicle detail page, condition report, high resolution photos. I know almost all the auctions I know we have invested heavily in digital photography. Coolest thing, I was up in Indianapolis, I got a preview of this new thing we got. You literally, after the car comes out of the detail shop, they get a guy that does the final check. He gets in, he pulls that car up to this big giant white box. And it gets closer, the doors open to this big white box, and he drives the car in. And as he drives the car in, the door's shut behind him. And then it looks like lightning going all through this thing. It's like, wow, that's really weird. And then the doors open on the other side, and he pulls the car out. It takes like 15 super high resolution HD photos. It knows if it's a truck or a car, how high, how low. And it's unbelievable. And we're rolling that out to all the auctions. I know other companies have kind of the same thing. So start looking at those photos. You know, how can you tell a high resolution digital photo from a regular one when you're online? Do you know how to tell? When you zoom in on a regular photo, low res, when you zoom in to see that scratch, you know what you see once you zoom in? What is that? It's all blurry. I can't see. I put my glasses on. I still can't see. When you zoom in on a high resolution photo, it is crystal clear. You can tell if it's just paint, if it's paint and primer, or if it's paint, primer, and just a hair of metal. That's how good these things are. So start using the VDP. And there's a lot of cars that are sold online they're sold, are not necessarily still at the new car franchise dealer or on a transport. A lot of these cars are sitting at an auction someplace. So there's two things you can do. Third-party inspection, you can send guys out there to do that. Or if you have a relationship at that physical auction, make a call. They'll go out and they'll take 200 pictures of it for you. I have guys that I see that go out there and they do FaceTime. Hey dude, I'm looking at this car. Can you do me a favor? Go out there, walk this thing for me, call me on FaceTime. Sure, man, give me 15, 20 minutes. Go ahead, let them go out and sweat in the back 40. And literally they're like holding the phone. Do you see that? Hang on, let me start it. They start it. And I know it's funny because remember how we used to tell people, yeah, I got to see your trade because you can't just, put the tailpipe to the phone and rev it. You know what these guys do? They literally stick their phones in the engine compartments and rev them up so you can hear top ends that are rattling and so forth. Things are changing, guys. Things are changing quickly. Okay, but use them. There's, at least the auctions I know, they would love to do that for you. How much time would that save you? You could buy the car right there. It's at the auction you already use. Do it. Make them do the work. All right, so now that's buying. How do you get your cars online? Has anybody here ever sold any of their cars online? Oh, good. That's much better. I asked that 2 years ago when I was here, and I don't think anybody raised their hand. So maybe I did a good job. I'm going to claim that I did. Whether I did or not, I don't care. So here's the deal. So as the technology grows, and us old guys like me start to adapt to it, and we start saying, I'm tired of fighting it. I know there's money in it. I know I need to understand it better. I got to do this. More and more of that's going to happen. And here's what I think the beauty of this is. Because the car doesn't work on your lot, doesn't mean it's not going to work on somebody else's and vice versa, right? There's cars that when you take them in trade, it's not going to sell. It's going to sit here forever. I've had 3 just almost like it. I can't sell them to save my life. I got to take this thing to the sale. Those are the cars you want to put up there. Or if you get a car that you thought was going to do good, something that you tried because you thought it would do well and it seemed like the right vehicle for the market, and it doesn't work, same thing. The beauty of it is you can launch these cars up online while you're still sitting there trying to retail them. Come up with a plan. Here's the date that if I don't have the car retailed, I'm going to put it online. I'm going to set it online this long, see if I can get any money for it. If I can't get any money for it, this is the date I'm going to send it to the sale. Does that make sense? That's an inventory disposition plan. But how do you do that? Well, you can do it one at a time, painfully, typing VIN numbers and taking photos and all that stuff. You can do it on your desktop. You can do it on your mobile phone. You can do it in all those different ways. You can have, trust me, auctions would love to do it for you. They will come out and help you do it. Or you can do it automatically. How many of you guys here, I'm going to do the don't. How many of you guys don't have a DMS of some sort that you use? Yeah, that's okay. How about, how many of you do not advertise on any kind of digital, no Auto Trader, no Cars.com, none of that? Okay, so if you advertise on any of those, if you have a Cars.com account, Auto Trader, whatever it is, the auction can automatically upload your entire inventory on a daily basis every night. I think it runs at 3 a.m. And then you can come in the morning and go, you know what? I'm going to sort by age. I got these 2 cars that are getting old on me. Here's the price. Click, click, boom. They launch to auction. It's that easy. Now, will you sell every single car? No, probably not. But what if you could sell, I don't know, 2 cars a month that way? What I'm saying is I don't expect anybody to jump in with both feet because it's something, especially like for me, the old guy, it's not easy. I could never believe any of this. I thought the internet was a fad and it would go away. I was wrong. But it's not going away. And in order to build a more efficient store, a more efficient business, buying and selling cars, you got to get on board. Just stick your toe in just a little bit. Just try it. But once the crawdad comes up there and bites your toe, don't be afraid to go back in. Be prepared to make a couple of mistakes along the way because it'll happen. Don't get frustrated because you put your entire inventory on there to see what would happen. Maybe you didn't price it right, maybe it wasn't right, whatever it was, and you didn't sell anything. Don't get discouraged. Okay? Stick with it. Ask for help. Every auction that sells these things that has online attached to it, every one of them will help you. They guarantee they'll help you. They want to help you. I want to help you. Don't be afraid to make those few mistakes though, because that's what happens. When you first step in there and it didn't work like you thought it would, especially when I'm telling you, I cannot believe how many guys actually use their phone to buy and sell cars online, that I swear before they started doing it, they still had a fold-up flip phone with the big numbers on it. And I'm like, this guy, that ain't gonna happen with him. But you know what? I've had guys have gone out and had to buy an iPhone or go out and buy an Android phone and spend a few months figuring out just how to use the phone before they can actually buy or sell a car online. So I don't want you to get discouraged. Everybody can do it. We have, to date, I believe, at least ADESA has sold somewhere in the neighborhood of just under 1 million vehicles online. And it's growing. And I want to go back to one thing so I make sure you understand, because I don't want you to miss this. How many of you guys in here sell or would like to sell those one-owner, low-mileage lease returns? Okay. How many of you do that right now? How many of you try to find those cars? Is it easy to find those cars? Yeah, see, it drives me. And I get kind of mad at our marketing department every now and then, because we control 99% of all those portfolios. ADESA runs all those, right? They're all ADESA technology. So, and it's so easy. That first open opportunity is so huge for you guys that sell those cars. You got to jump on that one. And if you call the auction, you call whoever you're used to talking to, they'll know about it. Because I've been traveling the country for the last 2 years preaching to our own people, one owner, low mileage, off-lease cars. If you actually say that to them, they'll probably laugh and say, hey, you've been talking to Doug? Because I've been grinding it into them. Because it's such a good opportunity for us to help you guys find the cars that you need. And frankly, they weren't even really aware of it. But as those portfolios, it's Honda, it's Toyota. I mean, it's all the crappy ones that nobody wants to buy. Honda, Toyota, Ford, Chevrolet. I mean, it's all the bad cars. We have 99% of those, and they all have that first open option. So you get to buy a one-owner, low-mileage, off-lease car that's typically CPO eligible for a factory guy, and it's pretty much going to have some kind of factory warranty left in it, and you get to buy it before it goes to auction and pay less fees. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? That's a great thing. But nobody knows about it, so you got to go do it. And then on the flip side of that, being able to save the time and effort and energy of going to the sale. Granted, I love going to the sale too. I talk about it, it's that social activity, it's that connectivity with other dealers that you kind of got to have. But if you buy 10 cars a month on a regular basis or 15 cars on a month on a regular basis, and you can get, let's call it 5 of those by clicking a button, how much time and effort and energy would that save you? A lot. So, I'm going to wrap it up with this. Don't be afraid. It's okay. You can learn to do it. It's not that, I'm telling you guys, I'm the old car dog of our company, and they test all this stuff on me. Doug, can you do this? And I take out my typing tools, and I start going at it. And frankly, there has been times where I go, I have no freaking clue what you're trying to get me to do here. And they'll back that out, and they'll go, okay, well, that doesn't make sense to you, then it's probably going to make sense to anybody else. So we fix stuff like that. So don't be afraid to do it. Understand that ADESA and all the other auctions, they want to sell cars online. They will help you do it. If they don't, I wouldn't go back to that auction. I know all ours will, for sure. They will come to you. They'll help you do it. There's phone support. You can get guys calling you up. They'll do that thing where they take over your computer. That always freaks me out just a little bit when you call somebody up and they go, here, click this link and do this, and okay, I got it. And next thing you know, your screens are flipping around. I hope they don't find my bank account. Yeah, see? I worry about that stuff too. But they'll do everything they can to get you trained up and ready to go. And then you can stick your toe in the water and give it a try. Just try to buy one. Try to sell one. Again, everybody here's got, they advertise, they've got a DMS, you can get your cars listed, and it doesn't cost anything. None of this stuff costs anything. Those mobile apps, they don't cost anything. This is all like, it don't cost anything. It only costs you if you sell one or buy one. So why not? Why not give it a try? All right, how much time do I got left? I got 4 minutes left. I'm going to take 2 questions. And you got any questions? Because this is, I'm never finish early. They usually have to, I was afraid she was going to get the hook and pull me out of here. Any questions? Yes, sir? Front row.
What's this $30 30-day warranty?
$30, it's 30 for 30. So if you buy a car, and it's got to be this car. I think I may have broke this. I don't know if it works. I think it broke it. The one I showed you, that's the, it won't go back. Remember I showed you that scale? It's that first open opportunity. If you buy any of those cars, the first open opportunity cars, for whoa. It's that thing. They took over. It's that thing.
That's scary.
That's scary. It's right here. I can't stand on stages. I hate that. It's right here. So before that car goes to auction, you buy it, you pay $30, and you got 30 days to sell the car. And if you use our transportation, you get 100% transportation, you get all the buy fee back, and everything you paid for the car costs you nothing. And you don't even have to have an excuse. Come get it. I'm going to take my 30 for 30.
Where do I find that on ADESA?
Just go to ADESA.com. And I think there's like a thing that says 30 for 30 right there in front. Just go see the guys at the booth. Yes, sir?
Is the cloud like OVE and that?
Cloud is OVE. Yeah, the cloud is that's just the new thing that's, I tried to sound cool instead of old. Yes, sir?
How do you prevent countertop capacity when you're purchasing online?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Say one more time so everybody here.
When you're purchasing online, you're not able to see it physically. So how would you know or guarantee that something would not be wrong with the mechanic?
Okay, no, good question. If you're buying a car online, you can't see it. You can't feel and touch it. How do you know you're buying the right car, and how do you protect it? It's like I talked about, one of those is at 30-30. So you got 30 days to NAAA, National Auto Auction Association. You have an extra term, so you go longer. You have longer before arbitration ends, and it has a lower dollar threshold. So there's less wrong with it. And those cars are all sold as stated. So if there's something on there that as that car is sold like this and you get it and it ain't like that, you get to arbitrate for that. Now, if it smells bad, literally our arbitration rates, at least for us, they are low online. They're lower online than they are in lane. Lower online than they are in lane. Now, part of that's because we're selling a lot of these, right? These one owner, low mileage, off lease. Yeah, okay, I won't say that anymore. But good question. Yes, ma'am. Has the dealer-to-dealer program? So again, that's literally taking all your cars in your inventory, launching them up online automatically. All the auctions can do it. OVE can do it. We can do it. Everybody can do it. And they run through 3 or 4 3-day sales, and everybody can see them. You can see theirs. They can see yours. It's literally just you're looking. So when I talked about the 3 ways to buy it, you can buy it. You could buy it live online while you're watching the car run through the sale, and the other one's that eBay style. All the pictures that you use to advertise your car, they all go up on, just like it would be on autotrader.com or cars.com, but they go up at the auction online, and you put that's how much I want for my car. If somebody says, hey, buy now, boom, they buy your car. Can you negotiate in what way? Okay, see, that's a great point. She goes, can you negotiate? Okay, question was this. She said, can you negotiate your price? If you list a car online and you want, it's 15 grand, but you want to pay 12, can you negotiate? Yeah, you can put an offer. If you're a buyer, you can put an offer on the car. And there's places in there where you can type in notes. What are you smoking? I'm only going to offer 12. Off it goes. And then you might get back, nothing, I still want 15. But you can. It's an auction. You can bid, and then if the auction goes down and they didn't like your bid, sometimes they'll send you an offer. They can make you an offer back as well. So yes, the answer would be yes. Yes, sir.
Are you in charge of the website? Question.
Am I in charge of the website? If I was in charge of the website, it would not be working right now. But I can find out who he is. If you need some help, I can get you there. Yes, sir?
Is the only cloud-based? You don't have
So the question is ADESA only cloud-based or do we have lanes? We have more physical auction plant than any other auction company in the US, North America, South America, and we're working on Europe right now. Everybody goes, who's ADESA? I've never heard of ADESA. You're gonna be hearing a lot more. We have more physical auctions than any other, anybody. And we have one of the best ones here in Atlanta, by the way. I was just there last week. I love those guys. Any other? I got to get out of here. I'm getting the hook. I'm
No,
scared.
Doug, that's good.
Is
Come
that
on.
it? I'm out of here?
You're out of here.
Guys, hey, wait.
General manager of ADESA Atlanta, everybody. Go to his auction.
Nicest guy in the world, by the way. Hey guys, you know what? Have fun the rest of the time you're here. Learn as much about all this stuff. There's a lot of people that want to sell you stuff out there, but go learn about as much of that stuff as you can. Go back to your stores, have some fun, sell some cars, and then make yourself some money. Have a great weekend.
Doug, thank you very, very much.